He died in his sleep from doing this. Doctors beg seniors to stop. Heart attack and stroke warning. Going to bed each night might seem like a simple, harmless act of relaxation, especially for those over the age of 60. Yet without proper awareness, these precious hours can inadvertently become a silent stage for life-threatening cardiovascular events. This isn't about genetics, random misfortune, or pre-existing diseases. It's about specific nighttime routines that many unknowingly engage in, mistakenly believing they are winding down or being kind to their bodies. The stark reality is that nearly half of all fatal cardiac events in adults over 60 occur between 10 at night and 6 in the morning, often while they are vulnerable in their sleep, unaware of the quiet dangers unfolding. Understanding these critical nighttime habits is not just important, it's urgent. This information will reveal precisely what these dangerous routines are, explain their catastrophic impact on the aging heart and brain, and outline actionable steps you can implement starting tonight to significantly reduce your risk. A step-by-step protective routine will be provided designed to safeguard your cardiovascular health. It's crucial to pay close attention, particularly to one specific habit that is believed to contribute to a significant number of silent overnight deaths in older adults, a topic rarely discussed. Decades of experience in internal medicine and geriatric health have consistently shown a recurring pattern. Many individuals who suffer heart attacks and strokes in their sleep are not always the sickest patients. Often, they appear to be in reasonable health, eating fairly well, engaging in some exercise, and generally adhering to their medication regimens. However, a select few, nighttime practices can stealthily undermine the very systems designed to protect them during rest. This insight is shared because everyone deserves to understand these critical nuances, which are often overlooked in brief consultations. What many people do not fully grasp about the sleeping body, especially after age 60, is that sleep is far from a passive state. Your cardiovascular system doesn't merely power down, it shifts into a complex biological repair and restoration cycle. During healthy sleep, blood pressure naturally dips, heart rate slows, and the brain actively clears out metabolic waste accumulated throughout the day. When this intricate process functions correctly, sleep becomes an incredibly potent form of cardiovascular protection. It allows the heart and blood vessels to recover and prepare for the demands of the next day. However, when this vital repair cycle is disrupted by certain habits, the consequences extend far beyond mere poor sleep. The body can be thrown into physiological disarray. Instead of dropping, blood pressure may spike. Arteries, rather than relaxing, can tighten. Blood, instead of flowing freely, can become thicker and less manageable. In a body over 60, where arteries are naturally stiffer and the heart may already be working harder, this internal chaos can escalate rapidly, sometimes turning fatal within a matter of hours. The revelations that follow may challenge common assumptions about sleep, making it essential to understand each of these habits and their underlying mechanisms. Let's begin with the fifth habit on this list: consuming a substantial or heavy meal within 2 hours of going to bed. While the general warning about late-night eating may be familiar, grasping the precise physiological impact it has on your body is key to truly understanding its danger. When a heavy meal is eaten close to bedtime, your digestive system demands an immense surge of blood flow. Your stomach, intestines, and liver all require increased circulation to process the food you've consumed. This forces your heart to pump harder and faster to meet this demand. Crucially, this increase in cardiac activity and blood pressure occurs at precisely the time your body is biologically programmed for these functions to decrease. A significant study, tracking over 100,000 adults for multiple years, identified a clear and statistically meaningful correlation between late-night heavy eating and an increased incidence of nighttime cardiovascular events. This risk was particularly pronounced in older adults. Furthermore, a less publicized but equally dangerous aspect of late eating is its tendency to exacerbate acid reflux in older individuals. Nighttime acid reflux is more than just uncomfortable, it can directly stimulate the vagus nerve. This stimulation can trigger dangerous arrhythmias and irregular heart rhythms, which pose a significantly higher threat in an aging heart. Consider the experience of many individuals who reported fatigue and occasional palpitations at night, often after eating dinner late, around 9 p.m., typically a large meal, and then retiring around 10:30 p.m. Believing they were otherwise healthy, a 24-hour heart monitor often revealed a different story, showing repeated irregular heart rhythms between midnight and 3 a.m. This critical window aligns perfectly with the body's strenuous effort to digest a large, late meal. Simply shifting dinner to an earlier time, perhaps 6:30 p.m., and opting for lighter portions can lead to a normalization of nighttime heart rhythms within weeks. The realization that such a common practice could have such a profound impact is often a surprise. The guideline is straightforward. Aim to finish your last meal at least 3 hours before sleep. Keep portions modest and choose lighter, easily digestible foods. This simple change allows your heart to work less, rest more, and ultimately contribute to its longevity. Moving on to the fourth habit, which often surprises many, going to bed, even mildly dehydrated. After the age of 60, the body's natural thirst sensation can become significantly diminished. It's entirely possible to be clinically dehydrated and experience almost no sensation of thirst. Additionally, many older adults consciously restrict their fluid intake in the evening to minimize nighttime trips to the bathroom. While the logic behind this is understandable, it masks a medical reality that profoundly impacts cardiovascular health. When the body is dehydrated, blood becomes thicker and more viscous. This thicker blood moves more sluggishly through the blood vessels. Slow-moving blood, in turn, is far more prone to forming clots. Now, consider this in conjunction with the natural slowdown of circulation that occurs during sleep when heart rate drops and blood pressure decreases. This combination creates an ideal biological environment for a clot to form, which can then travel to the heart, triggering a heart attack, or to the brain, leading to a stroke. Research published in a prominent journal focusing on cardiovascular disease revealed that even slight dehydration increased the risk of nighttime cardiovascular events by over 60% in adults aged 55 and above. This is a staggering increase, originating from something as seemingly innocuous as insufficient water intake throughout the day. Many individuals who consider themselves to be in good health often boast about never drinking water after a certain evening hour to ensure uninterrupted sleep. However, such a choice can have dire consequences. Stories abound of individuals who suffered ischemic strokes overnight, where a clot blocked a critical artery to the brain. Subsequent blood tests often reveal severely concentrated blood, indicating dehydration as a significant contributing factor. While survival is possible, the permanent loss of function, such as the use of a hand, serves as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers. These experiences underscore the importance of sharing such lessons, hoping others avoid similar circumstances. The solution to this danger is far from complex. Drink a full glass of water 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. Make sure to use the bathroom immediately before lying down. It's also wise to keep a small glass of water on your nightstand, just in case you awaken thirsty during the night. The chemical balance of your blood should not be sacrificed for the sake of an unbroken night's sleep. A single bathroom trip is an incomparably better outcome than suffering a stroke. Recognizing these habits in one's own routine is the first step towards better health. Now, we delve into the top 3 most critical habits, each progressively more dangerous than the last. The third habit is one that is believed to be silently affecting countless individuals every night, yet its connection to heart attacks and strokes is often overlooked. Undiagnosed sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a condition characterized by the partial or complete collapse of the airway during sleep, causing breathing to intermittently stop. These pauses can last anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds or even longer, and in severe cases can occur hundreds of times throughout the night. Each instance where breathing ceases leads to a drastic drop in blood oxygen levels. When oxygen levels plummet, the brain perceives this as an emergency, triggering a stress response. Stress hormones flood the body, causing heart rate to spike and blood pressure to surge. Moments later, breathing resumes, oxygen levels normalize, and the cycle repeats. This relentless pattern unfolds over and over, often hundreds of times, while the individual believes they are enjoying peaceful sleep. Extensive research, including studies from prominent universities, has found that untreated sleep apnea triples the risk of nighttime heart attacks and quadruples the risk of strokes. Quadruples. Furthermore, estimates from leading medical associations suggest that over 80% of moderate to severe sleep apnea cases in adults over 60 remain completely undiagnosed. The warning signs are crucial to recognize: loud, chronic snoring, waking up gasping or choking, persistent morning headaches, extreme daytime fatigue regardless of sleep duration, and blood pressure that is challenging to control even with medication. Many individuals have a history of snoring for years, often dismissed as merely embarrassing but harmless. However, an oxygen level drop during a sleep apnea episode can be so severe that it can induce a dangerous arrhythmia, leading to an emergency situation. Medical professionals have warned that such events can bring an individual to within minutes of not waking up at all. The use of devices like CPAP can dramatically improve outcomes, with some reporting significant drops in nighttime blood pressure readings, highlighting the life-saving potential of addressing this condition. If you snore or consistently wake up feeling tired, regardless of how long you've slept, it is imperative to discuss a sleep study with your healthcare provider. This is not optional, it is a matter of immediate concern. The second habit, one that nearly every adult over 60 is guilty of at least occasionally, carries far more severe consequences than most realize: skipping, delaying, or mistiming blood pressure or heart medication. Blood pressure adheres to a precise biological rhythm over a 24-hour cycle. In the early morning hours, typically between 3 and 6 a.m., the body initiates preparations for waking. Cortisol levels rise, heart rate increases, and blood pressure climbs, a phenomenon known as the morning surge. For individuals whose medication has worn off overnight, this morning surge can be catastrophic. The increased pressure can cause plaques inside the arteries to rupture, leading to clot formation, which in turn can trigger heart attacks and strokes. Studies published in reputable medical journals and corroborated by multiple large clinical trials have demonstrated that taking blood pressure medication at nighttime rather than in the morning can reduce the risk of cardiovascular events during sleep by nearly 45%. Despite this compelling evidence, many prescriptions are still written for once-daily morning dosing, often as a default rather than for optimal nighttime protection. It's crucial to understand that this information is not an instruction to alter your medication routine independently. Instead, it is a call to initiate an informed discussion with your healthcare provider. Ask specifically if bedtime dosing might be a safer option for your individual needs. In the interim, it is paramount to never skip a dose, never take it hours late, and never assume that feeling fine equates to stable blood pressure. Your blood pressure could be spiking to dangerous levels in the early morning hours while you remain completely unaware. Consider those who have managed hypertension for years, often with what might be termed casual compliance, taking medication most days but occasionally skipping a dose due to forgetfulness or travel, believing a day or two couldn't make a significant difference. The consequences can be devastating, such as experiencing a massive hemorrhagic stroke after skipping medication for just 2 consecutive nights, allowing the morning surge to hit unimpeded. The regret expressed from a hospital bed, wishing to have taken those 2 pills, underscores the critical importance of adherence. Taking your medication consistently at the same time every night, even setting an alarm as a reminder, is arguably the most controllable risk factor on this entire list. Finally, we arrive at the number 1 deadliest nighttime habit for adults over 60, the one believed to be responsible for more preventable overnight deaths than almost any other factor, yet is rarely discussed because it appears deceptively harmless: sleeping in a room that is too warm. It is vital to understand the profound scientific basis behind this seemingly simple danger. When you sleep in a room where the temperature is too high, specifically above 72 degrees F, 22 degrees C, your body expends continuous energy throughout the night attempting to dissipate excess heat. To facilitate heat release, blood vessels in the skin dilate. This causes your heart rate to remain elevated instead of settling into its protective nighttime rhythm. You may also sweat, leading to fluid loss and further thickening of your blood. Moreover, sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented, denying your body the deep, restorative stages essential for repairing the cardiovascular system. Critically, your blood pressure fails to achieve its natural and beneficial nighttime dip. Research from leading medical institutions has unequivocally identified elevated sleeping temperatures as an independent risk factor for nighttime cardiovascular events, particularly in older adults. However, what many fail to realize is that temperatures that are too cold can be just as dangerous. Sleeping in rooms below 60 degrees F, 15 degrees C, causes blood vessels to constrict sharply. This forces the heart to pump against significantly higher vascular resistance. In arteries already stiffened by age, this constriction can potentially cause a plaque to crack, leading to a heart attack within hours. The optimal sleeping temperature, the range that allows your heart rate to naturally decrease, your blood pressure to dip as it should, and your sleep to reach its deepest restorative phases, lies between 65 and 68 degrees F. 18 to 20 degrees C. This is not merely about comfort, it is about fundamental cardiovascular physiology. A room that feels perfectly fine, perhaps just 2 or 3 degrees too warm, can nonetheless be a significant strain on your heart. Now let's outline a protective nighttime routine. This routine is simple, accessible, and if consistently followed, research suggests it can reduce your risk of a nighttime cardiovascular event by over 40%. At approximately 6:30 in the evening, consume your last meal of the day. Opt for something light, such as lean protein and vegetables, avoiding anything heavy or fried. After this, limit intake to only water. By 8 p.m., drink a full glass of water. Take any prescribed medications exactly as directed by your healthcare provider, and consider setting a phone alarm to ensure you never miss a dose. At 9 p.m., begin the process of winding down. This means avoiding emotionally stimulating television, engaging in arguments, or making stressful phone calls. Dim the lights throughout your home to signal to your nervous system that it's time to shift into a relaxed state. Around 9:30 p.m., adjust your bedroom thermostat to an optimal 66 degrees F, about 19 degrees C. Place a small glass of water on your nightstand. If you suspect you may have sleep apnea, position yourself to sleep on your side, using a pillow to support your neck. Finally, at 10 p.m., ensure you use the bathroom completely before lying down. Take any final medications. As you settle into bed, consciously take 5 slow, deep breaths. This simple act helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, naturally signaling your heart rate to begin its healthy descent. This routine demands nothing more than your attention and consistency, yet the returns on this investment are immense. A cardiovascular system that is protected and restored rather than stressed during your sleep. It's important to remember that your heart has been tirelessly working for you for many decades, never asking for a break or ceasing without warning. However, these warnings are often subtle, and many do not listen closely enough until it is too late. You are not broken, and your body is not giving up. However, it requires intentional care during these nighttime hours, because what you do in the 2 hours before sleep profoundly shapes what your heart and brain experience for the subsequent 8. Consider adopting this routine for just 30 nights. It is believed that you will notice a significant difference in your energy levels, your morning blood pressure readings, and the overall quality of your sleep, changes you may not have experienced in years. This vital information is invaluable, and sharing it with loved ones, a spouse, a sibling, or a friend, could potentially protect a life. While a heart won't heal itself from years of nighttime stress overnight, it can certainly begin its recovery tonight. The journey towards better health starts today.